We bought our house a few years ago, and we were living abroad then, and so we were clear that we would want to let it out uh, for a few years at least, but until we returned. We first found the Cotswolds Letting Agency through an online search, and while we were on the website, we saw that they were marketing a short-term rental in the same village. And since the Christmas holidays were approaching, and we knew we needed to do some admin at the house, we decided to make a booking over the new year and to allow us to take care of that admin. Um, Firstly, the service that we experienced as tenants was fantastic. It was a very professional process, all very smooth, etc., etc. But then while we were there, we called the agency. It was a different team. We called at very short notice and suggested a meeting. And despite it being the holiday season, it was Ollie, I think, who offered to meet us at the house the next day. He turned up, told us that he'd just heard from a potential tenant, and asked if he could schedule a visit. And they visited later that day and ended up making us an offer there and then. And we hadn't even signed a contract at that point. So I know that might have been good fortune, serendipitous timing, but it worked for us. And everything just felt it felt like a natural fit. Um, I think four things really. Firstly, very professional. Uh, I mean, it's one of those services where you know when something's gone wrong, um, but until something goes wrong, you sort of it just runs along in the background. And actually, you have to stop and think, well, nothing went wrong, so actually they did the job. Everything was very professional. Things went wrong with the house, but they addressed it, and because we were abroad, it was great. Quite often we found they, addressed it, sent us an email, consulted, but that was all we had to do, and they took care of it. And in the middle of winter, your tenant's boiler goes. They need an urgent solution, and when the landlord's in Ghana, it's quite difficult. So that was brilliant. Secondly, responsiveness. Always very quick to respond. We had a WhatsApp group for the house with a number of people, so whether it was something to do with the accounts or just something that needed doing, very, very helpful. Always showing initiative, which was super because over time they got to know us and they kind of knew the sorts of things that we would say, and so we managed to sort of establish that relationship of trust where the team felt able to take some initiative and move even more quickly, and very practical in their responses. Sometimes they would pay and charge us. Sometimes they'd ask us to pay. Whatever made most sense. It just seemed to be the path of least resistance, and it was yeah, those four things. I would recommend the agency. I've nothing to compare them to, but if I had another house to let, or if I ever let this house again, I wouldn't look anywhere else. Really, I'd just say you can't go wrong with Cotswolds Letting Agency.